Hello. You know, it's funny. I'm watching this drawing. I'm watching the video of me drawing those link faces, heads. I don't know. Like, this was drawn a week and a half ago, and for some reason, when I look at it now, I've changed the goal and the style for what I want to do already so much that it's weird watching, because I think I've sort of improved. Kind of now, well, not improved, but I opened my mind to different ideas, and because of that, I think I came up with something else that I like. Anyway, so that happens in art. So if you're an artist, if you draw and design things, you might start off with something, and the final result, actually, it often, almost always, is completely different in the end, and that's kind of part of the process. And so here, it's almost like getting the ideas that aren't as good out of the way. And it's funny, when you're doing these early drawings, you for some reason assume that this is it, this is going to be the final drawing, this is it, this is the final design, and then you draw the next one, you're like, wait, no, this one's it. And then 20 drawings later, and you look back at your first few and you're just like, nope, not at all. And so that's kind of how I feel right now looking at these. Anyway, so over the weekend I spent some good time doing art at a workshop, and it was a workshop run by Carla Ortiz at the TLC workshop here in Seattle. Well, it's in Bothell. The city's called Bothell, but it's in the Seattle area. It was a really fun time. I ended up learning a lot more than I expected, and if you don't know Carla Ortiz, I'll have the link in the description. And she's a wonderful artist. She does a lot of. She's currently working for Marvel, working on the next Thor movie, and she stated that it was already announced, so she's allowed to say that. So we're allowed to say that. And she also does a lot of magic cards, and as well as a lot of fine art drawing and very atelier style training in terms of how she approaches these things. Now for me, a lot of my drawing sensibility has been more, I'm drawing what I know, so even if I'm looking at reference, if I see a face, I sort of look at it as a reference, but I don't try to be accurate. Right. Instead, I sort of draw what I already know to be a face. So where I see an eye, I'll draw what I think an eye looks like. Same thing with a nose or mouth. But what I learned from this, and I've sort of done this before, but sort of abandoned it. But she kind of pushed me to go more, to be more observant, to actually look at the shapes, to look at the angles, the diagonals, the relationships of all the spaces in between one landmark, or like a point of your if it's like the bottom of the face and the top, like understand the actual spatial relationships, because you can sort of make it up and stylize it, but there's something about studying the accuracy that sort of makes you aware of the differences. That's not to say that from now on I'm gonna try to be accurate to some kind of, or to be a slave to reference, but in a way it opened my understanding further. So I think it's also really important for artists, or whatever you're doing, is to find other people who are in the field and attend these workshops. And even if you're not in the area, like, there are often broadcasts, or if you look at Schoolism, like they have Bobby Chu is running that, and you can sign up for the classes and see a lot of the instructors kind of doing their thing. And so picking up on all these things, and I guess if you're watching this video, you're already taking one step closer to getting involved with art. So because you're watching an art video and getting some insights. Basically, I'm learning a ton just by talking over these videos and trying to decipher what it is that I'm doing, because often I do something and abandon it, walk away, and not really think about it again. But now that I'm talking about it, it sort of solidifies in a way some art theories that I have and all that. In this video, I do a range of faces for Link, and one of them, never mind, you'll see. Okay, so back to the workshop. It was a great workshop. It was funny because it's in a place called Country Village, and there's it's like a farm, not really a farm, but there's, once you get there, you park your car and you just see a bunch of chickens walking around. I'm like, what? Why are there chickens? So I took some videos of chickens walking around. Man, they're so friendly too. You would think that they'd be defensive. Whatever. Anyway, moving on. Yeah. So the workshop was cool. I ended up drawing so we were supposed to draw a portrait or mythological portrait based on photo reference, and Carla had us sketch out ideas first, and then based on those ideas we took a photo reference of actual models kind of dressed as mythological characters, and they were Hades and Persephone. So that was really fun, and so we got to sort of direct the photo shoot, and through looking at all the pictures afterward, you get to kind of choose the ones that you like and mix and match and start to edit and sort of build your own reference. And I highly recommend checking out her work, because if you see how wonderful her stuff is, you can sort of gauge what's possible through her process. So yeah, that was great, and I had a good time. It was very I struggled a lot with the drawing, because I'm super impatient. I can't. The idea of spending more than an hour on anything is just absurd to me. And so sometimes with this approach where you're rendering with pencil and like being very accurate and specific, you have to sort of sometimes you might spend a day on just the face, and to me that's no way, but it's definitely something I want to force myself to try, because that's the atelier approach of learning how to draw and how to see, how to measure, how to understand form, the rolling of the form and the core shadow. There's so many things that you get from slowing down, and I've just sort of missed out on that for a very long time. So yeah, I might set up some still lifes and really just kind of train my eye a lot better, because it's something lacking in my work. And another thing that I picked up on after this workshop is that I never really finished anything, right? And a lot of my work is kind of a lot of indicated brushwork, a lot of quick kind of just gestural stuff, but I never felt that my stuff has been too complete. And so I want to start to develop more complete works. And so from this workshop, we sort of had to compose a complete image from the start, using the reference. And then from there, you use that to kind of use a grid and you draw out the whole thing. And in a way that's it's already done. So you, at least in terms of planning. And so you just start filling in the darks and then the highlights, and you just fill in everything in between. So yeah, there's that. Man, there's some really eye-opening stuff out there. And if you're in the learning process, if you're a student or whatever, professional, whoever you are, seek these kind of learning opportunities out, and just being around other artists, even if it's for 3 days, because it was just 3 days, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and just talking to the other artists, the other people. And not everybody there was professional. It's like it was a whole range of just people wanting to learn how to draw. It was a really good experience. So yeah, don't be afraid, don't be intimidated, don't give up, just do awesome stuff. And I encourage you all to just rock on and develop a realization that we're all here to just do cool stuff and be positive and inspire each other. So anyway, rock on. I'm gonna go ahead and stop this, and just stay tuned for next week's video, and yada yada. Cool. All right. Click. Okay. No, I don't like that one. Click.